Hi, my name is Daryl and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to make beef short ribs. Now, typically when I make beef short ribs, I braise them in a Dutch oven for 3 hours. Today I'm going to do it a little differently and I'm going to use my Instant Pot. So what I did, I went to Costco and actually got my beef short ribs. I got them, they're actually prime meat. So they were a little bit more expensive than getting choice or select, but these ribs were really big, had a lot of marbling in it, so I decided to buy them. So what I did was salted these ribs early this morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Usually I prefer to do it 24 hours in advance to let that salt soak in and bring out the moisture. I decided to do them early this morning, and so since about 8 o'clock, and it's now about 6 o'clock, it's been there for about 10 hours. And so I've only salted them at this point. In addition to the other ingredients, I'm going to use one large onion. I've cut it in half and sliced them 3 times. I have 3 cloves of garlic. I also have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of allspice, and 1 teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice. Here I have a combination of beef broth, hoisin sauce, and red wine. All the measurements for the ingredients will be in the description of the video. Now also, you know, when you make a good meal, you gotta start off with a good cocktail. So, I have a nice real cocktail, good cocktail here. As you can see, the K's there for Kaholi'i. And what this cocktail is composed of is gin, ginger ale, and a combination of orange juice, guava juice, and fruit punch. It's wonderful. So I'm going to be cooking this today, again, in my Instant Pot. So I'm going to be getting it ready and we'll come back in a few minutes and we'll start cooking. Okay, welcome back. So now I have my beef ribs out and they've already been salted. So now I'm going to put the pepper on, fresh cracked pepper. So I'm going to liberally put, as you heard me, liberally put the salt on each side. Okay, so there's one side. And now I'm gonna turn it, each one. These are really some really nice prime ribs, short ribs. I'm gonna turn them over once. Now, as you know, as you can see, these are the bone, so I'm not going to salt or pepper the bone. So I'll turn them over one more time, 2 times. And I'm going to salt or pepper these as well. Okay, one more time. Actually, that was the first place, so I don't have to do them again. Okay, so now I've turned on my Instant Pot and I put it on the saute mode and it says it's hot. So now it's ready to sear these ribs. I've got 4 ribs. I'm not sure how many I'm going to be able to fit, but let's just see. There's 1. There's 2. As you can see, the bone side is up. Doesn't look like I can get the 4th one in. Let's just see if I can. I can get it in. All right, so those are gonna sit and I'm gonna saute them a minute or 2 on each side until they're all nicely browned. While that's going on, what I'm going to make for the 2 side dishes is a garlic mashed potato, and I got some organic carrots that have really some beautiful color. They're orange, they're yellow, they're purple, or as I call them, aubergine, And I'm going to be doing those on the stove while the short ribs are being cooked in the pressure cooker. So we'll come back in a few minutes after they've sauteed, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, welcome back. So now I have finished searing. In the last segment, I actually said sauteing, but searing all the beef short ribs on all the sides. So now, if you look into the pot, you can see all the little brown bits. So I'm gonna take a 1/4 cup of the beef, the hoisin, and the red wine sauce in here to deglaze the pan. So right inside there. Okay, I'm gonna scrape up all these brown bits that are in here. That's all good flavor. Now saute them in there. Scrape it up. And that's okay. You can do as much or as little, but you know, that's all good flavor that's at the bottom of that pot with all the meat that was the short ribs that were seared. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and put in the onions. Look, it's all stuck in here. These are all quartered thick. Okay. Get these onions in here. And the reason why is that I want the beef to sit on top of these onions. They're right there. And with this Instant Pot comes a trivet. So I'm gonna put the trivet on top, and you might ask, well, what's the point of the trivet? The point of the trivet is to keep the beef from actually hitting the bottom of the pot because it may burn. Okay, well that didn't work out so well. Okay, there's a big blooper reel to do in the future. Let me take that back out. Okay, get them a little bit better down there. All right, so now I'm gonna put the beef in. Okay. Now, the broth that I have here, which is the beef broth, the red wine, and the hoisin sauce, is all good in there. But now I'm going to mix in all the spices, which is the cinnamon, the Chinese 5-spice, and the what do I have in here? I have cinnamon, I have allspice, and the Chinese 5-spice. I'm going to mix that into the beef broth mixture. I'm going to pour all that in. I'm also going to put in the garlic, the three cloves of garlic. Okay. All right, so when we come back, I'm going to actually show you on the Instant Pot what we do to the next stage. So we'll see you back in a minute. Okay, we're back. So now I have the short ribs into the Instant Pot. They are sitting right now still on the saute mode, but now it's time to actually cancel that. I'm going to put the lid on, locked in place, and now I'm going to go to the pressure mode. Okay, that's not okay, that's not working. Hello? Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're into the pressure mode. I'm gonna press the button. I'm gonna hit it now, and I'm gonna put it at 45 minutes. Normally when I cook this in the Dutch oven, it's actually gonna take close to 3 hours. Here it's gonna be 45 minutes. I press it, it's on pressure high. I'm gonna hit start. Okay, so it's going to take about 15 or 20 minutes now to come up to pressure, the 45 minutes to cook, and I'm going to let it sit on the automatic release pressure for another 15 minutes. So you're talking about 1 hour, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we got. See you soon. Okay, so we're back. So the short ribs have been in the Instant Pot for 45 minutes. I'm going to take the lid off. All right, take the lid off. So here we are. It's done. I am going to remove. Oh, these are practically falling off the bone. Let me get another bigger tongue. I'm going to put them on this dish here, tray, because what I need to do is set these aside for a minute or two. As you can see, the meat has pulled back on the bone. It's really, really tender. Oh, that fell off. What do I got here? I got a bone. Okay, got a bone here. So that totally fell off of one of these. Okay, so I'm going to place this into place here. I don't want Donnie to You're not supposed to, I'm just putting this aside, but Donnie wants to follow the camera. Why? I'm not sure, because I asked him not to, but it wasn't important. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this off, come back around here. I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to put it back on the saute mode. I want it to come up to a boil. And I'm going to remove the trivet that's in here. Now I got to fish it out. Okay, so I'm going to let it come back up to a boil. And what I've created is a slurry. So I have a 1/4 cup of cornstarch and a 1/4 cup of water, because I'm going to want to thicken the sauce that's in here at this point. So we'll let that come up to a boil. Now, while this is coming up to a boil, I want you to see here that I made, cameraman, you want to come this way? I just made a garlic mash that I'm going to have, and then I've actually done some organic carrots that have been simmering in orange juice and water. Once it was done to the tenderness that I wanted it done, I seasoned it with butter, cayenne pepper, and brown sugar. So that's sitting there waiting to be plated. Come back here to the pot. As you can see, everything is boiling back up. So I'm going to add in the slurry and let it sit here for a couple of minutes till it thickens up to exactly what I want it to be. So this is almost, you know, when you use cornstarch into a broth, a braise, it thickens up pretty quickly. And it's got the onion that has been sitting here in the pot with the pressure cooker as well. Now what I could do is actually take all this and put it in a blender and emulsify it till it becomes a thicker gravy with no veggies into it, but I'm going to keep it in right now for tonight. So when we come back, I'm going to plate it all together and you'll see what it turns out to be. Okay, so here's the finished product. I got my beef ribs, my mashed potato, my carrots, and with the sauce. You can Here's Donnie's plate. So there we go. I'll let you know how it tastes.